Hello, sunshines. I'm back with erectile dysfunction in the reproductive system. So in the first lecture video, we went through the parts of the male reproductive system, and now we're getting into dysfunction, and then we'll look at how we make sperm, and then we'll go on to the female reproductive system. So a male's erection is caused when this spongy tissue fills with blood. And how that happens is the blood vessels, the arteries leading there, nitrous oxide, NO, is released by the nerves there, and then that causes the blood vessels to vasodilate, filling the space with blood. It also cuts off flow back through the veins, so it keeps it there. Erectile dysfunction, you can't do that. So it could be psychological, it could be the nerves leading in, or it could be the blood vessels that are damaged. So the medications that males take for this increase the effects of nitrous oxide, allowing the arteries to dilate more easily. And yeah, so that looks like a fly's eye. That's a cadaver one I threw in to show you since we talked about it last time. So here's a summary slide showing the male structure and their function. Now let's talk about spermatogenesis or sperm production. Okay. So the creation of sperm. And so we have 2 rounds of the specialized cell division called meiosis to make 4 haploid or single chromosome cells. Okay. So our regular body cell, let's draw. We'll keep this pin so that I can draw more easily. Okay. So our regular body cells are diploid. They have 1 copy of each chromosome, 1 from mom and 1 from dad. And so we'll just do 1 chromosome here. We'll do chromosome 1. So there's chromosome 1 from mom. There's chromosome 1. Well, let's not do another warm color. Let's do green. Okay. From dad. So we've got 1 copy from mom, 1 copy from dad in a regular working cell. So regular cell division we'll look at in another chapter is mitosis. So what happens is you've got each of those chromosomes, and then you make a second copy. And when you're making new cells, you put those in the middle and you send 1 copy of each to the new cell, so they have the same diploid 2N, 1 copy of each. All of our genetics and all our regular cells are the same. Now in meiosis, it's different. So what happens here is the first step is you make a second copy of each, but now they can overlap. Ooh. And so the first cell division, or meiosis 1, we have, let's draw. Oh wow, it's really going crazy with these colors. So now this cell will have green, green, and we'll have a little bit of green. We have a little bit of crossover here, which is pretty neat. So genes that are next to each other on the chromosome usually stick together. They're called linked. It's like eye color and hair color are close by. So the results of this, still 2N. We've got 2 copies of each chromosome, but they're not identical. And so now in our second meiosis, or you can say meiosis. I say meiosis. We're not going to make any new genetics. We're not going to make any copies. So we'll have orange, orange, a little bit of orange. Now let's do green, green on the ends, green in the middle, all green. And there's only 1 copy of each chromosome. So we're in. So we did 2 rounds of meiosis. There's a round of mitosis before that, but we're not going to worry about it here. And we have 4 non-identical haploid cells. Right? And each of those will become a sperm, but it's going to take a while for them to mature first. So now let's move on to females. Oh, wait, first, don't want you to miss out. Let's look at some penis diversity of the animal kingdom. So if you want, you can pause and try to guess what all of these are. You might be able to get 1 or 2 right. Go ahead and try if you want. Okay, so this first one is the tapir. It is an Asian mammal. It has a prehensile penis. What that means is it can like grab stuff. So like monkeys can have a prehensile tail that grabs stuff. So there's the tapir. They happen at the Minnesota Zoo. Okay, and then these are feathers. That is a duck. Many ducks, pigs, corkscrew-shaped penises. And here you might be able to tell is a snake. Some snakes have 2 penises, and they can reproduce with either. Also a common theme is barbs. Same like a cat penis. They'll like help keep the penis in as they try to fertilize. This is a dragonfly. They'll use their penis to scoop out other males' sperm before they try to fertilize. This is a trick one. It's not a penis. It's a penis worm. And it's not even a worm. It's an amphibian. And this little critter is the largest penis to body size, or longest I should say. This is a barnacle. Let's see, barnacle should show up next. Yep. They're sessile, so they don't move. So they have to put their penis out there to fertilize another individuals. So they got to reach a long ways. And then here, that 4-parter is an echidna. That is a monotreme, which means that it lays eggs. Oh, wouldn't want to use this last one. And this one is a beetle, and those barbs are just literally cause damage to the female's vagina, poke holes in wounds, and get more sperm in. Not pretty. If you got more than one of those right, I am impressed. Okay, now let's go on to the female reproductive system. So I have a friend who's a gynecologist, and I asked what the most important information for my students to know was, and they literally said that women have 3 holes. So got 3 if you're female. The first one connects up to the bladder through the urethra for urination. That middle is the vagina up to the uterus, and that's what we'll be talking about here with reproduction. And in the back, you've got that large intestine, rectum, anal canal for defecation. Okay. So in the middle of our pelvic cavity here, we're going to have the uterus, which is going to connect to the paired ovaries in these ovarian ducts or fallopian tubes, down through the narrowing portion of the cervix, through the vagina. And then you'll have the external genitalia, the vulva, as well as breasts. So here's a nice view. So this is our sagittal side view, and here's our frontal coronal view, showing the uterus, tubes to the ovaries, and external. So the ovaries are the gonads. We're going to look at the ovarian cycle. They're going to have those 2 functions of making eggs through oogenesis. Instead of spermatogenesis, it's oogenesis because we're making ovum. Oh, don't want to highlight anymore. OVUM. And then they're going to make hormones that are important for the cycling as well as sexual characteristics. And then you've got the oviducts or fallopian or uterine tubes. So here are the ovaries. They're almond-shaped lumps where you're going to have different things going on in different parts of the cycle. And then At the end of the uterine tubes, you've got these little infundibulum. They're like fingers. So when that egg is released, those fingers are going to grab it, and it's going to go into the tube, and they are lined with cilia. Okay, so there's the cilia. So the cilia is moving in a wave-like motion. So the egg will go in, and then the cilia will move it towards the uterus. So after ovulation, it'll go about where number 8 is usually where it's fertilized, and then it'll take about a week to make it from there to possible implantation in the uterus. Okay. It's not uteru, it's uterus. So the uterus, hollow, muscular organ, it's got 3 layers. It's got a lining, a muscle layer, and then that inner lining is called the endometrium. That's what's going to be shed during menstruation. Okay. And then the narrowest part of the uterus is the cervix. Most of the time in a woman's cycle, it'll have the cervical mucus plug. So mucus will be thick there, and sperm and any other foreign materials won't be able to go up. Only near ovulation will that mucus thin enough that sperm can swim through it. And then you have the vagina, stratified squamous epithelium, so lots of layers to deal with friction. So receives the penis during intercourse, and then birth canal during delivery. Okay. Then our external female genitalia is the vulva. So it's basically everything outside of the vagina. The clitoris has the erectile tissue. Fun fact, all of the female structures are the same as the males basically. They've just changed shape slightly. So, sorry, he's getting a little antsy. The clitoris has erectile tissue as well, lots of nerve endings. The mons pubis or mons veneris, it's the pubic mountain. And then you've got your labias, minora and majora, those folds there. Anything else? Oh, so this little portion here is the hymen. That is what they talk about when a woman first has sex the first time. That can rip. Some females, very little hymen. Others can go almost all the way across. It can be damaged in like horseback riding or like non-sexual things as well. So cool. And then we've got the breasts. So the breasts are mostly fat, and they have these milk glands. So for lactation, milk will be produced here and come out. And you've got these suspensory ligaments that help keep the breasts up. They're connective tissue, and over time they don't get replaced as quickly, and they can sag. Fun fact there, they did a study on women in France between women who wore bras and didn't wear bras, because in France it's more commonly acceptable to not. And they found the average nipple height was slightly higher for women who didn't wear bras. So I guess making gravity work or making them work kept them healthier. Okay, and we'll look at breast cancer and reproductive imbalances a little bit later in the chapter. So don't worry, we will get there. Okay, so reviewing the structures. Oh, don't fall. Okay. So in the males, it's all about the path the sperm takes. In the female, it's all about what's happening during her monthly cycle, 28 days, in the ovaries and the uterus, and they go together. Okay. So first we'll start looking at the ovaries and what's going on there. So the ovaries are where we make our eggs, right? So each month you'll have egg cells start. The best one will continue on, inhibit the others, and be ovulated. But it doesn't start just at puberty. Before a female is born, she's actually had all of the eggs she's going to have start to go through meiosis 1. And then it's going to pause. And then those eggs are going to start going again at puberty, and some of those eggs are going to develop each month. And then menopause, the end of menstruation, 45 to 55 years old, you're going to have hormone drops, and we'll see the consequences of that in a little bit.